Hey everyone, welcome to a bonus edition of Being Well Wisdom podcast. So here I am again, plan off script, rambling on about running, which is most definitely not the primary feature content for Being Well Wisdom. However, I had such a wicked reception and interest in my potentially crazy surgeon from the last episode that I recorded that I thought I had to provide you guys with an update. So as you know, without ever having ran before, being super obese and also having major knee surgery, I decided to take on 5K, 10K, a half and full marathon all within a year. I'm a wise man, right? What could possibly go wrong? Keep listening to find out how it panned out. So did I do it? Do what? An ultra marathon or a marathon? I'll let you decide that in a second. For those of you that have been here before, you'll know that I had an injury in week 11 of my marathon block, and as a result was sent to see a surgeon. He x-rayed me and spotted fluid on both my hip and knee and some kind of complex disorder that I can't say. I was debating whether that I was going to be able to run my marathon or not in York next month. And I think I and everyone knew that a marathon was probably going to happen, but it was more how and when. I think the reality is I couldn't possibly wait another 6 weeks for two reasons. One, I would have an MRI before then, and my surgeon will inevitably tell me that I can't run once he sees the results. And two, if I waited another 6 weeks without running, I think I would really struggle with the distance. I only had, I think it was I had only ran 18 miles when I stopped due to injury. So there was only really one thing on my mind when I got this news, and it was getting this done. I knew to make it possible that I would have to have painkillers, deep heat, deep freeze, biofreeze, Theragun, all of those kind of things. And I also knew that being close to home in case I needed regular rest or moral support would be super important. So what better way than to run 120 laps of my estate?
I would like to give thanks to today's show sponsors, Being Well Travel Company. Hit them up across all the usual places to get expertly planned trips, deals and experiences around the world that will leave you feeling well. Now, back to the show.
How was it? Well, because of the potential monotony of running 120 laps of my estate, I wanted to take this as early in the day as possible. So I got up at 3:45 a.m. on Saturday, just gone, for a 5 a.m. start. One of my best friends was aiming to join me for his longest run in 3 years for the first half. He arrived 4:45 and we were good to go 4:50. So despite 1 year ago, 1 mile being the longest and hardest run of my life, that first half that I ran with Stephen genuinely felt like a fun run. And I say that after spending 11 months in training blocks, exercising 6 days a week, every week. I mean, a lot of work's gone in, but it genuinely felt fun. I'd worked super hard for it to feel like that, but it felt great. I had a couple of niggles along the way on that first half, but largely easy going. It was never going to be about pace when I got going on this marathon, and everything that I'd read prior, it was super clear that running with an injury requires you to drop the pace. So dropping 2 minutes slower than my planned marathon pace, it led to quite a fun start. To be honest, I thought it was going to be a super arduous run, but cutting half off and enjoying it was next level. With the first half under my belt before 8, I knew that the second half would bring out the big guns in my kids, and Lauren would join me. What I hadn't accounted for was the beeps, waves, knocks on the windows, shouts from cars, and laps with my friends and neighbours. I really wasn't expecting as many people to metaphorically show up. Someone drew comparison to the feeling of clap for the NHS. Now, of course, I'm not equating my feet in the same stratosphere. However, that warm and fuzzy feeling of togetherness, something that has kind of peeled back into the shadows post-COVID, I can really agree with it. That's how it felt for me, and it was nice to hear someone on the outside of what I was doing have the same feeling. After several more laps, post-half pains started to set in, predominantly on my left side as expected. Started to treat every niggle as something serious, lapping on, ibuprofen gel, biofreeze, and deep heat in a kind of consistent rotation. Thankfully, meaning no pain really became unmanageable, despite having to dig quite deep in the pain cave. Talking to the pain cave, Lauren and Daisy joined me for around 5k each. Daisy taking pit stops between laps to kind of steal my Percy pigs in my makeshift aid station. My pain cave really didn't appear until between miles 22 and 25. Those were the hardest, I would say. During that period, I asked just to be left alone. I just cracked my headphones in, got my head down, listened to some songs that mean a lot to me on repeat. And the truth is, I really, really enjoyed it. One foot in front of the other. These were also some of my fastest laps, believe it or not. It was the deepest that I've been into a pain cave, and it brought me huge excitement for future plans that I've got. I'm going to be there many times in the future for sure. And then after the pain cave, Lauren, Daisy and Lex joined me for my last laps. I took one lap with my headphones in with those guys, and then I knew that I would only have 2 laps left. So it was headphones out, singing If You're Happy and You Know It, Clap Your Hands to Lex. I'm actually super thankful, for this injury, because it's given me something that no race ever could. Now, you've seen the episode title. At the beginning of the run, I started Strava on my phone, and I also started the run on my Garmin. If you believe the Garmin, I ran a marathon, slightly just over actually, 26.33 miles. And if you believe Strava on my phone, I ran an ultramarathon, 28 miles. So you choose, as from where I'm sitting, I won either way. Before I leave you with my final reflections, I just want to ask that if you can spare anything to my family's running efforts this year, I'll leave a link in today's show notes. Thank you to everybody who has donated so far. When I was bedridden with a foot-long laceration in my knee post-surgery, I wanted to bring value. During that time, I started to practice. I started to write everything I'd learned and was learning in a book for my kids because I couldn't do much else. It's from that book that I share this quote with you to end today's podcast. It's from the great modern Stoic author, Ryan Holiday. The obstacle in the path becomes the path. Never forget, within each obstacle is an opportunity to improve our condition. The obstacle is the way. Now, please, I don't want to delay you any longer. Go and live. Go and tell someone how much they mean to you. Go on the run. Send the email. Give the person a kiss. Big love.